morning, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So it's Tuesday morning. We are way ahead of schedule. We're going to run my L2 gleaner down to my grandpa's, and that's where my bean head's at. So, well, actually both combines are going down there because that's where both of our bean heads are at. So we're going to get the bean heads out of the shed, get them checked over. I know I got a few things to fix on mine. That hydraulic reel drive, I need to change that sprocket. So we're going to work on that this morning. It's still pretty wet, so we probably won't be cutting beans till this afternoon. So let's get down there, get the heads out, and see what we need to do, and we'll get some beans cut this afternoon. I'm pretty excited. I'm glad we're ahead of schedule. That means that we got more dry days to cut beans. So let's get at it. Bird's kind of crapped my head up a little bit. It's covered in bird dirties. Get her pulled out here in the sunlight so we can see what's going on. Then we'll get Dad's head pulled out. We gotta move Grandpa's trailer first. Okay, so the head's out in the sunlight, and as you can see, this sprocket is really bad that runs the hydraulic pump here. And then the motor that controls the hydraulic flow for the high and low reel speed kind of fell apart when I pulled on it because it was loose, and I started wiggling and it all fell apart. So what we're going to do is I've actually got the hydraulic pump off of my old gleaner head right here in the back of the truck. It's right here. So we're going to just go ahead and swap them out. And I'm going to run down to our buddy Jeff's at Rife's Farm Supply and get a new hub and a new sprocket to weld on that hub. And we'll get it all put back together, and we'll be good to go. We'll have new sprockets, we'll have a new chain on there, and it should run trouble-free. So I'm going to head down to Winamac real quick and see what I can come up with. Jeff should have everything we need. He always does. Well, I went down to Rife's Farm Supply, and sure enough, he had exactly what we needed. So I got the hub, I got the ring sprocket. So now all we got to do is get this welded up. Dad's Strength's got the pump changed out. So as soon as I get this welded up, he can put that on, put the chain back on, we're ready to go. So I'll get the camera set up, and we'll get this welded up, and we'll be good. Okay, so there we go. Didn't turn out too bad. Welding rod was giving me a fit for some reason. I don't know if it's a little damp or something, but so we're going to get that put on the head, and should be good. So Dad's Strength's getting the sprocket put back on, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and get a chain cut out, new chain. Well, we grabbed this length of chain out of the shop this morning, and it just so happens that it's already cut the right length. I don't know how that happened. I don't know if it's just luck or what it is, but it's the right length already. So I just got to get a splicer and put it back together, and we got to get our chain tensioner put back on. So there's the old pump. It's all off now. Okay, so while Dad's Strength finishes that up, I'm going to go ahead and get my head off, and we'll get the gleaner over by the pickups, and we'll get the bean screen put in it, and we'll get the settings set, and we'll be ready to go to the field. Okay, so you know what I'm going to do right now before I do anything else? I'm going to take some old Rusties, which, by the way, is made by the Mulehead brand. If you want to order this, go to the Mulehead brand website. I don't know if it's here on the can. Let's look. Yes. Mulehead brand right there. There is all the information you need to know to contact them. If you do contact them, tell them that I sent you, and they will give you a place near you to purchase their old Rusties and all their other products. So I know a lot of you have asked me this in the comments. Some of you have reached out outside of YouTube, which is perfectly fine. But we'll just do it right here, right now. I'll tell you how to get a hold of them. Right there. Maybe we'll even do a video on getting a hold of them. So very nice people. I have talked to the actual owner of the Mulehead brand. He sent me a gift package. But if you do call him, tell him I sent you, please. I'd appreciate that, to let them know that I am pushing their product like I said I would. And it speaks for itself. It's good stuff. I don't even have to push it. It just works really good. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and I'm going to lube my seat real quick. So there's a hole here in the front. I just go through. We'll spray it in there really good. The nice thing about this stuff is it doesn't stink. So, I mean, it's not like it's a harsh, nasty smell. So, I'll have to pull the rubber down around the back side to get to the back. Okay, so our head's all unlatched. Let's go ahead and we'll set it down. Set it right next to the other head. And pull up a little bit just to line them up. There we go, that's close enough. I don't want to go down too far. I don't want my chute to fall apart for my return. There we go. We're out. Okay. Go get the bean screen put in it. So here's the bean screen that goes in the L2. I'm going to go ahead and get it slid in. It just goes in here, just bolts in. That's all there is to it. Easy to do. So I'm not going to video it because the project superintendent, my father, is getting antsy. So I don't have time to video a lot of stuff. So we'll get this put in and we'll get going. Well, here we go. We're ready to cut. And as you can see, bouncing up and down my seat, no squeak. So the old Rusty's done the trick. So I'm going to drive over here to the corner of the field. I'm going to start down here. I kind of want to drive a little bit, let the cutter bar bounce a little and kind of work out any rust that it might have and kind of limber it up a little bit. That way everything flexes the way it should and floats the way it should. And kind of get it woke up a little bit, I suppose you could say. So the header control does work still. Put it in auto, click the button, it drops and it bounces back up. So we're good to go. Everything's checking out. The reel runs, the reel speed works, except the wires are turned the wrong way. So fast is slow and slow is fast. I gotta switch that around. I don't know how that ended up happening, but that's all right, no big deal. So we're gonna head down here. I'll get my camera set up and we'll see what happens. Well, so far so good. Everything's running the way it should. I had to make a few adjustments. We were throwing some pods out the back that still had beans in them, so I tightened up the concave a little more, and I think we got that problem cured. These beans are short, but there's a lot of soybeans on them. The duck feet reel tines are coming in real handy right now. I'm actually taking a full 25-foot pass right now. Everything's running smooth. The reel's working the way it should. The only thing I need to do is recharge my air. It's getting a little warm in here. So I need to get that charged because with cutting beans, there is no running with the door open. It's just too dusty. At least the header control's working the way it should. That's a major plus. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and dump. Well, now what the hell do we have here? How did this get here from way over here? Must have been a sprayer guy or something caught it with a boom and flipped it out of its T. So I put a T in there to hold it. Huh. Well, probably have to dig that up and redo it or put a post by it or something. It's just not wanting to go back down in there. I don't have a shovel with me, so we'll have to fix that later. But right now we're cutting beans. Well, I kind of got a hole in my ship, so I had Mom and Sausage go get me a roll of Gorilla Tape. So I'm going to crawl underneath and patch up my hole. It'll be good for this afternoon. And then tomorrow I'll bring some sheet metal and screw up under there and fix it permanently. So that's the only downfall to these old gleaners, is they're most likely high-houred if you find one, and thin on the bottom like this one is. So the hour meter on this one stopped at like 5,500 hours, I think it is. So God only knows how many hours are really on this combine. So if you're going to buy one of these, look at the auger beds on the bottom. See if they got patches on them or if they're thin. If they've sat outside, definitely check them over really good just to make sure they're not rusted through. I'm going to crawl under there and get this fixed and we'll get back at it. So we had one small hole develop right here. It was just big enough that soybeans were falling out of. So I got the Gorilla Tape under here, taped it all up. As you can see, I fixed it before on that half. And I just took some furnace metal and shaped it and just riveted all along there. But what I usually do is I take old license plates like this, just put them up in there and self-tapper screw them in. And those last forever. So when I first started doing this, I never thought this combine would last this long with us, but you know, we're on our like 5th year with it, and the license plates are holding in there just fine. So I need to find me a couple more license plates, and I'll do that back here. But this will get us through the rest of the day now. We won't have to mess with it anymore. This Gorilla Tape is incredible stuff. It's expensive. It's like 20 bucks a roll. But this will get you through the rest of the day without any downtime if you carry a roll of this in the cab. It's really good stuff. I mean, as long as you wipe the dust off first, it'll stick right to it. So, really good stuff. I don't know how they make it stick so well, but they do. Okay, let's get back at it. Dad and I might be able to get this 100 acres finished today. I'm not sure how much is in the trucks yet. I'll have to ask Dad straight when he comes back around. I can't see him from where we're at, but I know I've dumped quite a few times. So I kind of lost track of how many times that Dad's dumped, so not real sure. But I think we probably fit the rest on, we had a half a truck and the grain cart empty. We can fit the rest of these on it, I would say. I don't know, it will be interesting to see what the yield is on these. They're short but full of pods, which is kind of deceiving. I don't know. This is one of them farms that's when it's wet, it's wet, and when it's dry, it's bone dry. There's just no in between on it. So it really needs some irrigation put on it. I mean, this is a nice sized field that could be easily irrigated without taking much trees out. You'd have to do away with the island right here, which serves no purpose anyways. It's just there's a broken down tile in there that had been let go for years without being fixed, and the trees just grew up around the wet spot because nobody could farm it because they wouldn't go out there and fix that tile. Well, if you remember from my videos this spring, we went and we cleared a path through that woods with the 200 and the 270 excavators, and we found the tile and we dug it up and we basically made an open ditch to connect the tile to the broken section on the other side. You can see our path that we made through that little island of trees, and that really dried out that back 20 acres. I mean, we struggled to farm that back 20, and ever since we dug the ditch up from the road up around the woods and opened this tile up and got it draining in our new ditch, oh, what a difference it made. You can get over every square inch of that 20 acres back there, no problem. So we really made a difference with that. So that was a good thing. But now it dries it out a little too much. But the ideal thing to have is irrigation and tile. You can control putting the water on and you can control taking the water off. But it's expensive to do that. You know, you got to make sure the return is there on the investment before you spend all that money in tile and an irrigation system. It adds up quick. You start putting 4-inch tile in every 40 foot on a farm, that adds up quick. And then you put irrigation on it, that adds up real fast also. By the time you put pipe and wire and a well in, if you can't pump out of a good flowing ditch or a big pond, you know, you got the price of a well. I should probably put the camera down the head so you can watch that. I need a camera mount that I can move around easier. I need one that just kind of looks around on its own real slow. That would be kind of cool. In spots, these beans are really, really good, but we're coming up to a sand ridge now where they're just not very good at all. But we definitely have some more good soybeans. This is just the beginning. We've got a lot in a couple muck fields that we have, so there'll be some good video cutting beans. But this was one of the first fields that I planted, so we wanted to come here looking for dry soybeans. They're drying out as the day goes on. This morning they were pretty rubbery, but by this afternoon they're really starting to get crunchy. So you definitely don't want to sell them too dry, and you can't sell them too wet. Thing is, if you sell them way too dry, you're losing the money that is in the weight of the moisture. So, you know, that adds up quick. So you want to catch them right at that right dryness to sell them at, because you don't want to give them away. Automatic header control is really nice for doing video. Unlike the corn head, you don't have to control this head. You just let it float on the ground. It controls itself up and down. You gotta watch it though. Make sure it's not doing anything stupid. Okay, we'll get some video later. Okay, so the 100-acre field is finished. Dad's on the last little strip. I'm going to head over to the little 20-acre patch over here and start cutting in there and see if we can't get that burn off yet tonight. We got a full semi to cut into, so we should be able to do it. As long as they don't get too tough. as soon as the sun goes down, we'll see if it's going to get tough or not. But we'll see what happens. Well, we kind of got some electrical issues this evening. My 3 bar lights aren't working for some reason. We're going to have to get that figured out. I went to turn them on and nothing happened. So, I'm going to have to fix those tomorrow and see what's going on. It's kind of dusty. It's a good thing I fixed all the lights across the front of the cab of the combine. So, we're going to use the old Thomas Edison lights instead of our fancy LED lights. Let's get over a little bit. There we go. It's kind of uneven through here because we're along our ditch that we dug, and we got some waterways and stuff, and we dozed off a bunch of dirt from the ditch, so it's still kind of uneven along here. Okay, so I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode right here. We got plenty of video for the day. So we had a good first day of cutting beans. So we got 100 acres today. Well, 120 acres today, actually. So that means if we can keep that pace up, which we probably won't be able to because we'll have to do a bunch of moving around to get to the other fields. But, yeah, well, my alarm didn't work again. So anyways, I'm gonna go clean them off my roof. So anyways, thank you for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I will see you all in the next one.